Um, so, this is my first video. I guess maybe I'll introduce myself. My name is Jade, and I am starting a kids brand. Sounds kind of cool when you say it out loud. I'm gonna be documenting everything as I do it. Well, maybe not everything, but I'm gonna be documenting as much as I can with a baby. I had a baby last year, and he's the coolest guy I've ever met, and I love hanging out with him. And I also really love clothes and fashion and style and just chatting about fashion and all those things. So this channel, I think, is going to be a bit of a, like behind the scenes look at how I'm gonna do this, because I'm not really sure. I've never done this before, as well as, chats about fashion, the fashion industry, and just kind of all little, I don't know, anything that kind of comes to mind that has to do with making a brand. So I've never made my own brand before, but I have worked in business for a really long time. I kind of began, my college degree is in filmmaking, and I have a fine arts degree, and I love all kinds of like art and design and art direction, and I actually specialized in art direction and makeup as well. So movie makeup, monsters, gore, blood, all that stuff, as well as like, traditional beauty. That was a long time ago. But moving from film, I kind of started to go into like the whole marketing avenue. With my first job, I actually worked in a Hollywood makeup school, like in California, and then a marketing position became available there, and I took that. So without any real prior experience, but it was a really kind of learn on the go job, and I gained a lot of experience in marketing there. I then moved across the country, and I continued in that marketing, public relations, event management, and I did a little bit of art direction with some, like, those, I mean, you could call them like old school now, because it was like, oh my gosh, almost 10 years ago. But it was like really big back then, was like Instagram pop-ups. You could go and like, it was somewhere to go and like take pictures and then post it on your Instagram, which sounds so lame now, but like, yeah, anyway. I worked with installations, I worked with artists, managing the installations and things like that, kind of conceptualizing the art that was in there. It was cool, it was fun. And then on a bit of a whim, I moved to Australia, and I met my partner, and I've been here ever since. So I've been in Australia for almost 10 years. I think it's 8 this year. And we got married, we had a baby. Actually, we had a baby and then we got married. This whole time on my mind has been fashion. I have wanted to do it since I was a kid. I have like assignments from when I was in grade 2 that was like, hi, my name's Jade, I have a cat, and I want to be a fashion designer when I grow up. I've always wanted to do this, but I just didn't really realize that it was feasible. I could have gone to college for fashion, but I didn't really realize that that was like a thing that you could do. I do wish that I had gone to school for it, because I love learning and I love research. And what you'll find with my collections is that everything is really heavily researched, so I don't just make something just to make it. I like have an idea about something, and then I do a lot of work to like look into like why it was made and when it was and like the history of it. And so I have some really cool fashion books that I can show you as well. I love to research. So when I came to Australia, I actually did a master's degree in science research. And so I know how to do research. So I kind of, all of these things are coming together, and it just feels like the perfect storm. It's the perfect time for me to do this. Personally, it feels really right now. So you're welcome to follow along. I thought I would document it because I think a lot of the industry is kind of, there's a bit of, oh gosh, like gatekeeping kind of that happens in the fashion industry, and I think that it's, I don't know, to me it's kind of weird, right? Like people don't share their manufacturers, they don't share their suppliers, and it's like, is there not enough room for all of us? Is that not what capitalism is? We're living in this capitalistic society, we may as well just, like, all come up together. So, I'm not the kind of person who will, like, hide where I get my stuff done, hide, like, the process behind it. So, this is kind of like my, like, here you go, word vomit, all of this information that I've done all the research for. I would rather share it than just keep it for myself. I think if someone else can come up as well and someone else can like make it big, like good for you. Based on the information that I researched, like awesome. That's cool. It doesn't necessarily, life isn't a pie, right? Just because you have some doesn't mean I have less. There's enough to go around. So yeah, what else? I've been conceptualizing the brand. It's very different to a lot of other kids brands that are out there. I want to make it a really premium brand as well. I want it to be really, really high quality fabrics, really high quality construction, not just like a premium price tag, but like actual premium, like really looking into the value of the item so that it lasts a long time. Because I know that like kids clothes they get messy and they get dirty and stuff like that, but it doesn't mean that like you should throw it away, right? Things should be easy to clean, they should be easy to manage, easy to maintain. Like you should feel really good about your wardrobe or your child's wardrobe and love what's in there and be able to take care of it. But there's a lot of things that go into building a brand, even more than I thought. I guess I never really finished my background, but after I finished my master's degree, I worked in business strategy. So I moved from marketing to business strategy because it was kind of what I was doing anyway. And then to kind of have a name for the thing that I was doing, because it wasn't necessarily marketing anymore. It was like more all-encompassing. So I've done business strategy for quite a few brands and businesses here in Australia. And so I thought, I've done all of this research into how to make a brand good. Maybe I could make a brand too. So, yeah, we'll just see how we go. It's kids' clothes, but I'm gonna try and make it a little bit different than your average like t-shirt and terry toweling shorts, which is like super cute. But yeah, I just want to make it a little bit more interesting because I feel like in our Western culture, and this is getting a little bit esoteric, I suppose, but in our culture, we don't necessarily really value children and what they have to offer. And personally, I think children should, they should live in reverence, right? We should be like so mystified by what they have to say, because it's actually really profound if you think about it. And I think that they get shunted to the side a lot and say, oh, you're just a kid, or you're naughty, or whatever, without understanding like the deep physiological, psychological, spiritual things that go on when you're a child. And so I really want to bring that to the forefront with this brand and just really celebrate the child, right? And I also think children deserve beautiful things. I think a lot of the time, with the plastic toys and the Cocomelon and the mind numbingness of children, things that like are for children simply to shut them up. That doesn't really sit very well with me. I think children deserve to know beauty. They deserve to have things that are made specifically for them that are beautiful and functional and made of natural material that really celebrates what they can bring to the table. So I'm still fleshing out all these ideas, obviously, but that's kind of the premise. And yeah, so if you want to follow along with me, you're welcome to try and post videos to YouTube, Instagram, and maybe TikTok, but I don't know, it seems like a lot. And I'm a mom. That's kind of my first job, first and foremost, always, is mom. That was the other reason I kind of just I wanted to design my own brand and work for myself, was because I wanted to kind of have my primary job in the forefront, and then this can be secondary. And so I'm going to try and do things a little bit differently. I'm not going to hustle. I'm not going to do the whole like work myself into the ground to like push out collections and stuff like that. No, I'm going to make it a lot more slow paced. And even if it doesn't fit within like what is like in the industry, like the standards or whatever, I don't care, because what I have to offer I think is going to be good enough to stand on its own. So yeah, so if you want to follow along, you're welcome. We'll see how we go. I guess, as the YouTubers say, like and subscribe, and we'll see.